We should be streaming to something.
All right. I can't hear myself in the mic.
Can't hear yourself.
Oh yeah, I can hear myself. Yo. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the BJJ GOONS podcast. I'm your host, Tim Spriggs, aka Number One Stunner, aka Grips of the North Star, aka Jitsbay, aka Mr. I Heel Hook White Belts in the Gi because I train for the streets, aka Mushmaster, aka King of the BJJ Deathmatch, aka the Trainwreck God, aka Trillmonger, aka the Best Bout Machine, aka Fuck Your Rankings, I Want All the Smoke, aka the Elkridge Strangler, aka the Underground King, aka Blast Double Poppy. And sitting across from me is a pioneer in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu online space, Tony Peranio, founder of White Belt BJJ.
Yeah.
Creator of Creator of BJJ Dating. What's good, Tony? How you been?
Freaking fantastic, man.
You look fantastic with the gold fronts, with the gold headphones, with the drug dealer glasses.
Nice bright light.
You know, since we have the BJJ Goons podcast up on our BJJ Goons YouTube channel now, I think what we should do is remake the classic Blow, because you got the whole drug dealer chic going on. You know, I love nice floral shirts, like I'm Scarface. I love the coke dealer chic, because I'm a choke dealer. Oh, that's a new AKA. Welcome, folks that are listening live on YouTube. It's glad to have you out here. So glad. And everybody listening on your favorite podcast channel or streaming service.
We got a very special episode today.
Very special because we have one of the biggest cards of the year.
Yeah.
Already.
You gotta take some time with this one.
Yes, we absolutely do, Tony. You are correct. We have UFC 246. We're going to do a preview for you guys tonight. Do not take my picks. Don't take my picks seriously, because the last UFC we had, I had a terrible record, and I apologize if any of you invested your money behind my picks. I have failed you. I apologize. So where do you want to start, Tony? You got the card up there on your computer?
Yeah, we got it all right here. So there's a couple fights on the card. I guess we should go over the undercard first. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, let's do it.
Ding, ding, ding. Well, let's go. I don't care about the prelims. We got, starting off the card, Anthony Pettis, Diego Ferreira at 155.
I have Anthony Pettis in this fight.
Yeah.
He has a pedigree as a striker in MMA that is very high level, almost unmatched. I mean, he's one of the few people to actually knock out Wonder Boy with a Superman punch. He was losing the fight. He was bloodied, but he still came back and won. That is a level of fighter that not many ever reach. And I don't think Diego Ferreira has it in him to really get to that level. Like in jiu-jitsu, there are some guys that are great, and there are guys that are on a level below. Like, you got your world-class guys, and you have guys that are tearing up the regional scene, but they can't put it together at the bigger tournaments, whether they're gi or no gi. You know, I think this is a good match for Anthony Pettis to get back into the win column and get back that momentum that he had after he knocked out Wonder Boy. He's a great fighter. And you said it's a 155?
Yeah, 155.
Oh, he's going to kill it. I'm a firm believer in Anthony Pettis. When it's all said and done, he will go down as one of the most electrifying MMA fighters. Showtime. Before he even got into the UFC, he had the Showtime kick. Great striker. He's great off his back. I know Diego Ferreira. He is a jiu-jitsu black belt. I know that he's competed before, but it's MMA. It's fighting. It's a different style of jiu-jitsu, and Anthony Pettis is kind of perfected it.
Yeah, I see an upset here.
You see an upset?
Yeah, I see Diego getting it, and I don't know why. I just Anthony seems to lose whenever I want him to win. So
okay, well then we're just going to have to see. You know what we should do next UFC card? We didn't plan it out, but we should have like a nice fun little wager.
Well, we talked about that before. I don't really bet.
No, not financial.
Right.
But it's kind of like a thing where, let's say, if I get most of the picks right, you have to do something silly. And if you get most of the picks right, I have to do something silly. You know, not too out of line, not too out of pocket. Nothing that's going to get us locked up, but we should try that. So my pick is Anthony Pettis, and yours is Diego Ferreira.
Yep.
All right.
Next up, I tell you, she's been one of my favorite fighters for a long time since she was in Invicta, Claudia Gadelha, fighting Alexa Grasso, who I also like.
What did you think about Alexa Grasso's last fight? A lot of people said that she was robbed. What do you think?
Which one was that? The armbar or something crazy?
No. If you pull up, who was her last fight? I think it was Raquel Pennington. Let's see. Because I know Raquel Pennington is later on in the card.
All right. Well, as we wait.
See, whether or not she got robbed her last fight, she went against a tough opponent, and she was able to hang in there. She's no slouch. But, I mean, how can you go against Claudia Gadelha? Once again, this is another example of an elite fighter, a world-class fighter, someone who has been in title contention and has went against the best of the best and made it, I wouldn't say a slugfest, but made it a close contest against someone that's kind of unproven. It's always a dangerous proposition to pick in that situation, but to me, I always like to go through when I'm picking fights, I like to go through evidence that's been proven. Claudia Gadelha is a proven commodity in that division. She's fought for the world title a couple times. She's had absolute wars with one of the best ever, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I'm going to go with Claudia Gadelha, and I hope she doesn't take any damage because has a beautiful face, and I would hate to see that face get messed up again. So I'm going with Claudia. Tony?
Yeah, I'll go with Claudia, too. In the last fight with Alexa was against Carla Esparza.
Carla Esparza.
That's who it was.
You know Aaron trained with Carla Esparza?
Oh, yeah, she told us the story here on the show.
Oh, my God. You know, I was rooting for her when she first got the title because a lot of people said, why does she get to have the title just because she won the Ultimate Fighter? And I kind of stood behind her, but after hearing some of the stories about how she is in real life, like, fuck her.
Yeah. Well, they did that Ultimate Fighter for that belt, so that's why that happened.
Yeah, it's so weird, like a belt for the Ultimate Fighter. That just shows how far women's MMA has come. Because when Joanna beat her ass for the belt, everyone said, wow, Joanna's unstoppable. Now we're like 2 champions since she had her reign.
So let's see. Moving on, we have Alexei Olenek, Maurice Green. The hell?
I want you to tell the people how many fights Alexei has.
Yeah, it's probably a lot. I know. I've seen. I know who
He's
he is.
had at least 50 wins.
57, 12, and 1.
Now, that's not a record because I believe Jeremy Horn had at least 100 fights, and he had had a shitload of wins. That's a lot in the UFC. He might have the most fights of anyone on the active roster in the UFC. And he's been in the UFC for a while. I've never seen a Maurice Green fight. I apologize, folks. I am not an MMA nerd. I'm a professional grappler, so I don't really have the time to watch every single guy. But I never heard of this dude, and I've seen Alexei put in work. I'm going with Alexei.
Yeah.
I think that's the stone cold lock of the night. It's heavyweight, so you never know. But I'm going with Alexei. He's taking it home.
Hey, you better take the guy down because he's 6'7", 258 pounds.
Jesus. That guy needs to be in the NBA. If he could shoot, he would be in the NBA right now. He'd be like a power forward.
258 pounds.
250. Those are some big motherfuckers, man. You know Muhammad.
Yep.
And he's giant, right? That guy is no more than 250. Imagine fighting someone who's like 260, 270, 280. He's pushing the weight limit, actually, now that I think about it. Because heavyweight is 265. Damn. What's the heaviest you've ever been?
Me?
Yes,
Like
the heaviest.
215 or something?
For real? The biggest I've ever been was 230. So that guy's definitely, if that guy's out of shape, he's probably walking around 270.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight, boy.
So let's see. Well, I didn't lose it, but it moved. UFC events. Yeah, get the first embedded out there now for everybody who likes to watch those.
I kind of like Embedded. I like those documentaries.
Yeah, I've always watched them.
But the only crazy shit that's happened on there is when Conor threw that dolly through the window. That was a great moment in MMA history. That whole build up to Conor versus Khabib. And, I love how it finished. Khabib took him down, rear naked choked him, spat at him, jumped the fence, and Flying Eagle punched Dylan Dennis. And then Dennis for ever will say, "Man, I laid in a clean punch on you." Like, bro, if he ever got in a street fight with Khabib, he'd get beat up. I think most people walking this earth, there's probably about 100 people maybe to ever walk the face of the earth that could beat up Khabib like that. 100 tops. There's no way you're beating him in a fair fight. Next up is Holly Holm versus Raquel Pennington. What are your thoughts on this one?
Rematch, going with Holly.
For sure. I think Holly is another one that is an all-time great. I'd put her up there. She's one of the pioneers of the sport. She closed the door on the Ronda Rousey era. Before her, there have been great female strikers, but someone with her pedigree coming into MMA and mixing it up, she took it to another level. And I don't think Raquel Pennington has that in her to beat someone of Holly Holm's stature. I think it's a gimme for Holly. I think Holly picks her apart. I think Holly can make it look ugly, and I think Holly can finish her in the first round. I keep referring to this today when I'm watching these matchups about there being levels, but it's totally true. There's tiers. And unless you've been to the big dance or fought your way to the big dance, you're not going to really understand it. There's this thing called octagon jitters, like the UFC jitters. The same goes for any professional sport once you get to the big show. And there's a factor to that. The first time you ever go to the second day of a Grand Slam in Jiu-Jitsu, there's a level that you have to be to get there. And to win on that day, to win against the top 8, the top 6, the top 4, to go against the best, to get in that class where you're in the argument for the best in the world is an undertaking all in itself. It's a hump you have to go over. And then Raquel Pennington has never gotten to that point. She might have it in her, but I'd be shocked because she has yet, in my eyes, to show it.
I hear that. She's number 5, which is crazy.
Yes. The problem is that with the rankings, a lot of it is who you beat, but beating people on your way to the top. Sometimes you can get easier matchups than others. And I don't think female MMA is to the point where it's that much of a hornet's nest to get to the top as it is for men. The pool is small. Holly Holm went at one point where she lost 3 in a row, I believe. And if this was the men's division, she wouldn't be anywhere near the title contention, even with her big wins in the past. But in the women's division, she's still up there. The game hasn't evolved to surpass Holly Holm yet. And Raquel Pennington, I don't see where she's evolved to the point where she has caught up to Holly Holm. And I think isn't this the or the second to last fight?
Yeah, it's second to last whatever you want to call it.
Main. That's a big undertaking. I mean, you got to imagine Holly Holm was in Australia, one of the biggest cards ever, one of the biggest crowds to see an MMA fight, and she took on Ronda Rousey, who at the time and still now is an international superstar, and kicked her head off. I don't see. The only way I see Raquel Pennington putting in work is if she takes Holly Holm down. But like I'm going to go over in the final match, in the main event, you have to get to the point where you can force them to the ground, and you have to go through hell to get them there. Holly Holm probably sees it because the striking department, whether it's kickboxing or traditional boxing, it's a wash. Holly Holm is on a whole other level. Her understanding of striking is so far ahead of Raquel Pennington's that it's going to get ugly. And if she is able to take her down, she has to hold her down, which Ronda Rousey wasn't even to hold her down. And Ronda Rousey is an Olympian in judo. Master takedown fighter, even for MMA. And she couldn't hold Holly Holm down. And Holly Holm actually took Ronda down. I don't see an easy path for Raquel. And by the time she is able to put Holly Holm down, she's going to have taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell Raquel Rocky's going to win this one.
Maybe I don't. I
don't even know if I've ever seen her win before. Maybe once.
Maybe once.
I don't even know. I don't even feel like looking up her record.
It's a wash, bro. I'm going with Holly Holm.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. And then the final bout, the one that everybody's talking about, Conor McGregor versus Cowboy Cerrone.
What a wild ride it's been for Conor McGregor to get back to this point.
Yep, they won't let him do any interviews, clearly.
They won't let him? I thought he did an interview with Ariel Helwani.
That's the only interview, and that was just today.
There's so much crazy shit with him.
Yep, because they don't want people asking him any personal questions.
I hear like he might be facing time, as the baby said.
He talked about it on Ariel for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things I've read, I don't. Here's my rule with the show. Or just whenever I talk about people, I don't like dealing with speculation. I don't like dealing with shit that's a he said, she said, unless I have the information, and even if it's not public, but if I have the information, I'll talk about it, or I have an opinion. But I don't know anything about the situations that he's been in. And as somebody on the team that I am on, I'm not a fan of dealing with speculation and absolutes if I wasn't fucking there and if there's no real facts written out in the public or just anywhere. But I will say he's gone through some shit. I do think that he is full of shit in that he's saying the last camp he had he wasn't respecting the game. Conor McGregor is a lot of things, but at foremost, he is a martial artist, and he's a great fighter. I don't think he would have taken that fight with Khabib lightly. You can tell from the interactions they had on the ground, like the first exchange with the wrestling. He was doing good. Defense, he didn't stand a chance with the grappling, but you could tell that he put work in. It's just that he got his ass beat. With that being said, even if Conor didn't take this fight serious, I could still see him winning. It's a stylistic advantage for him. It's an easier way to get to the title. On the other hand, we have Cowboy Cerrone. He's the Iron Man of the UFC. He has the record, or is up there for the record for the most finishes of all time. He's one of the best ever, just longevity alone. He has a variety of skills. He's good at jiu-jitsu. He's really good at kickboxing. He's a Muay Thai. He has Muay Thai fights. He has extensive kickboxing background. I mean, he can throw hands. The thing with him is he can take damage, but he's older now, and you go to his body, historically, he doesn't like it very much, and he can get washed out pretty quickly. Conor is fast. He's a fast starter. Cowboy gets hot later on in the fights. One of the interesting parts about this matchup. Before I continue, what do you think so far of this matchup? Like, what did you think when they first came out with this match? What were some of your first observations? Let's go to the interviews and what you think about Conor's mindset first.
His mindset?
Yeah.
I feel like his mindset's in a good place, and I think he was in a good place before, like you said too. Just bullshitting. But I think he's coming to win. He's putting in the time and the work that needs to be done to get it done. And I don't think Cerrone's going to be able to. It's too many fights, too quick, too many knockouts and injuries. orbital destruction, orbital bone destruction, and all this stuff hasn't properly healed. Potentially.
It's great for him that he's getting this huge payday.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
He, for the longest time, he would take any fight. He grinded. He made a lot of money, but he always says that he burns through a lot of it. And he said he had a change in his mindset when he had a kid. So I hope that he makes a lot of money this fight and he saves it up. It would be great if he could win. That'd be another big payday for him. I don't see it happening, though. Conor is such a fast starter. He's one of the fastest starters there is. He has one of the fastest knockouts ever. He's an excellent striker. He's gonna kick Cowboy Cerrone to the body, I feel.
Yeah, he's going to teep kick him.
He's going to teep kick him. He's going to corner him. I think he's just going to pick him apart on the feet. Cowboy's a great fighter. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. First ballot, as soon as he retires, the next day they need to enshrine him. Maybe on the spot they enshrine him into the Hall of Fame. But he can't beat elite fighters anymore. Look at his record recently, folks. He has not beaten a great fighter in a very long time. He hasn't even been in contention truly for a major title in a long time either. There was probably one small window back in the day where he could have been champion. But when he had the title shot, he got destroyed in the first round. Maybe the first 90 seconds he was up out of there. And like I said, Conor is the better striker for MMA.
Yeah, he's a better boxer. Donald Cerrone's very, very standard Muay Thai. He likes to strike, Conor likes to counter strike, so that's going to play into his favor. Cerrone should make more than Nate Diaz did, so that's at least $15 million. He ain't going to blow that in one day.
You think that? Wait. Let's go back to them numbers. What did you just say?
Nate Diaz made at least $14 million.
For real?
Yeah.
$14 million.
Yeah, for the second fight.
Holy shit, dude. He's set for life. Like, you can live comfortably forever for $15 million. Like for me, at least.
He has been.
Shit, that's a lot of weed.
Yep.
That's a lot of weed.
Conor made $80 million, he says, off the Khabib fight. So he's going to be making another rat.
Damn. You have to pay for them lawyer fees somehow, baby. You need a good-ass lawyer. Cowboy has more ways.
No. He said he made $50 million from Khabib.
Shit, $50 million.
So he's looking to make that again at least.
He is the headliner. A lot of people are excited for this fight. I don't look into it that much. I think it's a money grab. Cowboy Cerrone does offer a lot of challenges. He has a lot of different ways that he can win. But you have to get to those spots. I don't see it happening.
It's like they say, it's a fan-friendly fight, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there's no meaning outside of just being a fan-friendly fight, really.
Oh, no, bro. This is a title eliminator.
What title?
The 155 belt. I know it's at 170. You're going to say it's crazy, but Dana White said it himself. He said they'll be looking to make Conor versus Khabib rematch.
First off, Khabib got to beat Tony in March or whatever.
I think either way, if Conor wins, he's going to fight the winner.
Nah, I think he fights. Conor says he wants a season, so there's another fight in there. Probably Justin Gaethje.
He's not going to fight Justin Gaethje.
Well, he just keeps saying.
He's full of shit, bro. Conor McGregor should avoid Justin Gaethje at all costs because Justin Gaethje is a durable version of Cowboy with better wrestling and hits harder, and he could probably take Conor's soul. I think Conor should go for the title fight.
Yeah, but
and he better hope that Tony
Conor beat
Ferguson
up Eddie Alvarez, and Eddie Alvarez took care of Gaethje.
Shit, you're right. That's MMA math, dog. MMA math. I don't see Justin Gaethje losing to Conor. I think Conor wants to get the title, and I hope for his sake, if you're a Conor McGregor fan, you want Tony Ferguson to win. And that's a whole nother. Side note, I've been saying this for the last 5 years. I think 5 years. Tony Ferguson can beat Khabib. We'll see. But he better hope that Tony Ferguson wins because that's his only chance of getting the title after he beats Cerrone. I hate that even there's an idea that this is going to be a title elimination. This is like the number one contender match to see who fights the winner 155. I'd rather see him, if he has to fight at 170 for the BMF title. It's your boy Jorge, Cuban Jesus.
Yeah, that would be cool. Go ahead, continue, if you don't mind. I'm looking up something here.
Yeah, sure. Cuban Jesus for the win. This is an interesting card. This is pretty much a one-match card to me. I think most of the matchups are gimmies. I think it's a good way for the fighters to boost their records, the people with the names to get more momentum in the public eye. And it's a great opportunity for them, because so many people will most likely be watching, because Conor is the draw. He's still one of the, if not the biggest draw in all sports. And allegedly, I hear that he wants to have a rematch with Floyd.
Yep, that's what he says.
That's crazy.
He also says that it's in the works for Pacquiao as well.
That's a fight he does not want.
Yeah.
He wants it for the money. I think that Pacquiao probably fuck him up worse than Floyd did because of the styles. Man, the Conor fanboys are crazy, man.
So here's some of the stats. You got Conor is 21-4-0, Cowboy 36-13-0. Average fight time 9 minutes 2 seconds for Conor, 9 minutes 49 for Cowboy. Conor is 5'9", Cowboy is 6'1". So there is definitely a height advantage. However, Conor has the 1-inch reach advantage. Conor is a southpaw. Some say the Cowboy Cerrone does not do well against southpaws. Date of birth, 1988 for Conor, 83 for Cowboy. Conor's got age on his side. Conor lands 5.27 significant strikes per minute, while Cowboy lands 4.34. Conor's 48% accurate, as Cowboy's 46. Wow, so there's a lot of similar characteristics there. Cowboy and Conor has a loss to Nurmagomedov, a win against Alvarez, win against Diaz. In the last three, Cowboy has lost to Gaethje, lost to Ferguson, and a win over Iaquinta. His most recent win. So it's all around looking pretty good for Cowboy. I'm sorry, Conor.
For sure.
Let's see if we can find some betting odds.
For all our degenerate gamblers out there, these picks are pretty cut and dry. I just got to see how viciously that Conor's going to knock out Cowboy. I'm so certain. And I'm just going to avoid social media for a while after this fight, because the Conor fanboys are going to be so out of pocket and so annoying. And be like, the notorious one is back. The GOAT is back. He's back. You guys are all scum. What does he call people? Rats. They're all rats. I want Khabib back. I want my get back with Khabib. I can take out Tony Ferguson. I just already see it.
Yeah, so you got Conor at -185, Cerrone at +150. Now down here at the Diego Ferreira and Anthony Pettis fight, you got Diego at -165 and Anthony at +135. So for an Anthony Pettis fan, that's some place to put your money.
Yeah.
Throw down 100, make a quick $35.
Yeah, you gotta get those numbers up. I was watching football the other day, and there was a match. Oh, not match. It was a game between the Texans and the Chiefs, and I almost blew a gasket because the Texans went up 24-0 in the first half, and I was so pissed because I went to Vegas in July. Was it July? Over the summer, I went to Vegas, and I was at the sports book at Caesars, and they had 50-1 odds for the Texans to win the Super Bowl. I mean, to go to the Super Bowl. And I almost blew a gasket because I was like, I knew I should have took that fucking bet. Because in my mind, it said 50-1, Texans are pretty good. They might sneak into the Super Bowl. And I was cussing and fussing the whole way in the car when I was listening to the play-by-play. And I turned the fucking radio off. I go do some shit. I get home. The Texans are losing 28-0. to 24 before the end of the half, and then it ended up they got scored on with 51 unanswered points. Oh no, it was basically 51 to 31 by the end of the game, and I said, damn, that's why you don't gamble. So folks, if you're listening to this, do not take our picks super serious and bet on shit just because we said so, because we are not responsible. Anything else you'd like to add about the UFC fights this weekend?
Yeah, just a couple more little bits and pieces here. For all of his accolades, Cerrone has just one title bout in his UFC career, a loss to Rafael Dos Anjos in December 2015. The Denver native appeared perhaps headed toward another title run when he reeled off 3 straight victories, but was stopped by Tony Ferguson and Gaethje in his last 2 bouts. So, let's see. Looks like some people are picking, pretty much everybody's saying the same thing. If it's early, Connor. If it goes late, Cowboy. That seems to be the consensus amongst the world.
Shit.
The world.
Well, we got another big card coming up. It's in February, but I still am interested by it. It's the Who's Number 1 2020. It's hosted by Flow Grappling, and Seth from Fight to Win is running it as well. There's a couple fights that I see on there that I'm interested in. I like this idea of Who's Number 1 because it gives shine to the lower belts, and it gives them an opportunity to show their skills. Because, as we all know, Father Time is undefeated, and the stars of today will not be stars forever. So they got, juvenile blue belts all the way up to the black belt elite on this card. And I want to highlight a couple of matches. For those of you guys that are real BJJ addicts, you're going to know some of these names. But these are some names that I would like you guys to look out for this 2020 Who's Number 1. First is Cole Abate. The guy's an absolute killer. If you look online, look at some of his highlights. The kid is mad young, but he does grown man shit when it comes to this jiu-jitsu stuff. He does new school jiu-jitsu. He's a submission hunter. I've been following him for a while now. You see his highlights all over social media. He's supposed to fight this kid, Sebastian Oyervidez. It's the first match on the card. Do yourself a favor. I know you might have a lot of stuff going on, but watch that match so you can get a look into the future. I think Cole has a bright future ahead of him. He just switched over to AOJ. The kid's an absolute killer. Another great match is my teammate from Team Lord Irvin, Rico Staten. He's fighting Robin Bolin. Rico is a purple belt light featherweight. All of my guys are in Instagram. You may know Rico as The Flash. Not too long ago, he did the Flash Challenge. It's some crazy move where you're passing the guard and you spin onto your back and you basically you re-bolo somebody and then you end up on their back. It's just a crazy move. Go on Instagram and look up hashtag Flash Challenge. A lot of people do it. Jamil did it. World-class black belts have tried it. I've tried it. It looked ugly as shit. Rico is just really innovative. What you're going to see in this match is Rico be extremely fast. That's why we call him the Flash. And he's highly technical, and he's got the new school stuff. It's a treat to see. Do not blink. Rico is the heir apparent on our team. I feel as though Jamil is the king of the lighter weights. He never lost his world title. I think he got screwed in the Pan Ams. And he wasn't able to fight this year at Worlds and defend his world title because he had appendicitis. So he had surgery and he couldn't compete at Worlds. And that's the only reason why he did not repeat. And he's an innovator. I think Jamil is one of the best innovators in grappling. He is one of the originators of lapel guard, what you guys call worm guard. And Rico's the heir apparent. The stuff Rico comes up with, I steal it. He's so great at defeating guards and countering them. I mean, he'll get tied up and in a position where most people would get swept or get their back taken, he'll just flip out of it. He'll re-roll into it, ended up in a more dominant position and pass. So be on the lookout for Rico Staten. At brown belt, light feather, there's Mayram Alves. We call him May. He is the Pan Am champion at purple belt at that weight class. He is the silver medalist at that weight class at purple belt. Mayram Alves, as he's called here, but we all call him May. May is the future. He is a future black belt world champion. If you've seen him on Instagram, you see him on Flow. He literally, the guy reached out at Worlds to shake his hand. He slapped his hand away, grabbed his sleeve in the same movement, and foot swept the guy and armbarred him in 30 seconds. Dissed the handshake, foot swept the guy, armbarred him in about 30 seconds. He's a killer. He goes toe-to-toe with world-class black belts. It doesn't matter what weight class they are in the gym. He always comes to Camp Springs during Pan Ams and World Season. He's a god. And he just makes it look easy. He's so good that it's kind of a hindrance to him because he kind of takes it for granted. Like, he doesn't even have to try to be great, and he'll just win. So that's the only thing stopping him. So I got May killing it. Jessica Khan, brown belt rooster weight. She's come up through the ranks. She fights for AOJ. She's a great fighter. She can be a future black belt world champion. Eric Muniz versus Conor DeAngelis, brown belt heavy. That's a banger. That's the future. I got Eric Muniz winning. Conor DeAngelis is great. He's really dedicated. He lives in a van outside of Alto, San Diego. But Eric Muniz is a god. He's part of the Muniz brothers. Those guys are scary because they're mad young and they're already heavyweight. Like, you could see the Muniz brothers taking over jiu-jitsu this decade. The last two fights, huge. Roberto Jimenez versus Keenan Cornelius at black belt heavy. Roberto just got his black belt. He killed it at purple belt. He was great at brown belt. I don't see him beating Keenan. Keenan's one of the better guys in the world. Anyone that beats Nicholas Marigali is great and is on the level. Another prime example, a guy that hasn't reached the level yet versus a guy who's been around the top for a long time. I got Keenan. Roberto in the future will probably be a world champion at black belt, but right now he's not ready. And finally, Nicholas Marigali versus Victor Hugo at black belt ultra heavy, the main event of the card. My pick is Nicholas Marigali by submission. Marigali is 1 or 2 in the world right now, and I want that rematch really fucking bad because I was fighting with one hand. Anyway, I got Nicholas Marigali winning this one, and I want to see Nicholas Marigali versus Keenan in the next Who's Number One or a fight to win. Doesn't really matter to me, but one of the two. And those are my picks. So,
What was the event again?
Who's Number One?
That's a weird name.
It is. They have a show called Who's Number One, and I guess they wanted to name it, but I don't see how you're going to pick who's number one if these are all singles matches. It's not really a tournament.
Yeah, it's like who's number one and one and one and one.
I guess if they should done like a Rising Stars.
Yeah, anything. That's all right. What are we going to do? It's going to be on Flow?
It's going to be on Flow. Are you still boycotting Flow?
No, I got Flow. I've had Flow for a while.
You actually bought Flow?
Yeah.
Great. So now you can pay to see me kick ass on Fight to Win.
Yeah.
I need to defend this title, bro. Like, I want to defend this title. It's weird. I don't think I've told you this, but when I was supposed to fight, I wasn't supposed to fight for the belt in Denver. The way it happened was, it was originally supposed to be me versus Nicholas Marigali, because Nicholas Marigali didn't want to fight Erberth on the card. Then I find out that I'm going to end up fighting Erberth because they didn't want to fight each other. They didn't want to fight each other. At first it was Nicholas Marigali didn't want to fight Erberth. Then it became Erberth didn't want to fight Marigali, and it was in flux. I was supposed to fight either one of them over the course. Like, all of them were, I don't know if it was a negotiation or not. I think bottom line is they didn't want to fight each other unless they absolutely had to, which is weird for guys of that caliber. But I ended up sliding in there and beating Erberth.
Yep.
I was told that I'm supposed to fight Kaynan Duarte next, and that's a fight I want. We fought before in New York Open. That was back when I first came back to training full time, and I want that rematch because allegedly this guy is supposed to be the #1 guy in the world. And I just plan on beating his ass in front of the whole world because I finally got my hand fixed. And I'm out for revenge, man. I said it last episode. I don't know how much longer I have in jiu-jitsu, and I want to make the most out of it. And I want all the big matches. And I want to go for #1. A guy that has his eyes on my belt, that I won fair and square because 2 other guys were too pussy to fight each other and were arguing about it. And I stepped in. I took the spot. And I'm going to take out Kaynan if he accepts the fight because, I mean, when I first won, they posted up the picture and everybody said they wanted the smoke. And now when I call up Seth, I say, hey, I want this match. There's no one out there that says they want it. Like, everyone says they want it, but they don't want it. And I figure for Kaynan, he might as well take the match and try to win some title this year, some kind of heavyweight title, because he's probably suspended.
Yeah.
He's suspended because he's a cheater, like 99.9% of the guys at black belt. So, come on, man. This is your only opportunity to win a heavyweight world title this year in 2020 or for the next 4 years. So, why don't you fight me? You're going to lose, but it'll be okay because a lot of people are going to be in the building to watch me because I want the fight in Baltimore. So, all my DMV peeps, everybody on Team Lloyd Irvin, we're going to be packing out that arena at UMBC in front of thousands of people. I'm going to be the main event, and we're going to show the world just how great we are. You know what we should do? I want all the teams in the area that think they're better than TLI to come out there and try to compete with us. I want all the best guys in the world to come to Maryland, and I promise you, we put our 5 best guys up there against any top 5 on any team, and we win. So I want to show the world how great DMV, jiu-jitsu, and grappling and martial arts are. I want to bring the title back home to Maryland, defend it in Maryland, sell out UMBC Arena, and beat Kaynan's ass and show the world who's really #1. The natty goat. You're looking at him. That's all I have to say, bro. About that. I'm just excited. I'm looking for end of February, like February 28th, I think, is the last weekend of February. Right? Yeah, that's the last weekend of February.
Yeah.
And what a great way to cap off Black History Month and having the world's #1 grappler beat a pretender and a cheater and hold up another belt. I just want to collect more belts. And I want to collect that heavyweight no-gi belt from Fight to Win because I beat Tex last time, who ripped off Felipe Pena's leg, and I negated his technique. So I want to be the champ. Shit, I'll go up in weight because I'm big now. Oh yeah, what's up with guys not making weight at these Fight to Wins too, man? Like, last Fight to Win, my opponent did not make weight, and I made weight. You know, it was a short notice fight for me, and I still came out on top. This is crazy, man. I have I get a lot of questions online, even after I close my DMs. By the way, we have an Instagram for this podcast. It's BJJ Goons Podcast.
I noticed that. There you go.
Yes. So send all your questions and comments and everything that way. So I have a question for the fans out there. Can your favorite grappler pass a PED test? Do you think your favorite grappler can pass a PED test? That's what I want to leave you guys with. That's just my question. So, Tony, anything else you want to talk about tonight? I got a couple of things. I got one.
Yeah, we got a couple little questions here.
All right, let's do it.
This is real interesting. This guy has to be like Muslim or something, but he has a question. What would be a good excuse to avoid training with a female? I won't train with a female due to my religion, but I still want to train BJJ. Well, that's controversial. I would just tell them it's your religion. Because the Muslims ain't even supposed to shake hands with a woman.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Are you sure, Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I've never heard that.
Yeah. Everything's segregated. Not supposed to shake hands. I'll look it up real quick.
Bro, that might be like fundamentalist, but I know a lot of Muslims that they shake hands with women. They train women. They train with women.
Well, of course it's the fundamental ones. That's what we're talking about.
But I mean, like every religion has fundamentalists or like super strict people that follow it.
Yeah, but it's
He might that might be his thing though. You may be right, but there's a lot of different religions that do that.
some do and some don't. Shake hands.
What about a fist bump or just no contact?
It's about men not touching any foreign women. Yeah, like they don't even let women show their damn hands, let alone shake the motherfucking hands.
Oh, come on, Tony, man. Now you're tripping, bruh. Like you're maybe certain people in the religion, but not all. You can't make a blanket statement like that. But anyway, this brother that sent the question, that might be how he follows it. And you know what? He's in his rights. You know, you shouldn't be forced to do anything that makes you or other people uncomfortable. So if it makes you uncomfortable or it's against your religion, by all means, there's nothing really wrong with it. I'm not going to tell you to go against your religion or your views, because just because I might not agree with them doesn't mean I'm right either.
But what should guy do?
I think that he should just if he's approached, say, I apologize, but due to my religion, I cannot do that.
Yeah, that's what I would say too.
And I don't find that to be sexist, because there's a lot of. It's not like he's like, listen here, bitch, you get your hands away from me. I don't train with women; they're weak. It's not like he's going there and saying that. He's being honest. Just be honest and upfront, so there's no confusion. The problems might arise if you dead them on the matter. Just ignore them. You just got to be open and tell them how you feel. If you don't feel comfortable, they should understand that. And if they don't, they're an asshole. And then maybe if the coach is pissed, or if the group does not respect your decision, fuck them. But just tell people up front so they don't have to question whether or not you dislike them for any reason other than you just can't shake hands with them or touch them.
Yep.
That was an excellent question.
Here goes another one. Hey everyone, check this out. In my upcoming competition, I'm entering both gi and no gi open weight class. In my open weight bracket, there's a competitor competing in a belt that he's already been promoted from. So he's actually a higher belt as of October of last year. I know because a buddy of mine is a mutual friend. As far as the comp, I look at it like a challenge to myself. I fight at either super feather or featherweight. He's heavyweight 207 plus. So basically he's higher belt than me with extra 80 pounds. It's going to be fun, haha. I find it highly unethical, but personally I don't plan on saying anything. I would like to hear your thoughts and if you guys had ever encountered this in previous competitions. Thoughts, anyone? Well, it's an open weight, dude. That's what jiu-jitsu's about, going out and getting that bigger boy. Highly unethical, though. That's a bit much.
I think it's pretty shitty for the guy to do that. If this is
Shitty,
true.
yeah. Shitty, yeah, but highly unethical.
As a martial artist and a competitor, if that's something that you do a lot, or that's your vocation, your passion, if you cheat in that way, whether it's sandbagging, which the guy basically describing, that is the definition of sandbagging, or you're taking steroids, that is highly unethical. It's not fair. To me, you got to shoot the fair one. So that whole cheating and sandbagging shit is bullshit. And in your mind, though, question asker, I don't know this gentleman's name or female's name, you shouldn't think about that. Your main focus should be on what you control. You can't control who signs up for the open. You can't control how heavy they are. You can't control that they got promoted and they are sandbagging. What you can control is your preparation, your mindset going into the match, your composure during it, and what you learn and how you apply what you learn from the match moving forward. That's all you should really worry about. Now, I will say, if and or when you beat them, you can take that as a feather in your cap. But don't even focus on that shit, man. Use that mental energy to prepare, and that's it.
I don't even like to look at brackets. I don't give a shit who's I'm going against.
Yeah.
You're a black belt, though. You're going to want to know what's in your damn bracket, because you got to prepare for that shit. But at lower levels, what are you going to do?
Yeah, who gives a fuck? You sign up for the open, too, so...
You can investigate his style.
You could, because people put all their shit online. YouTube, everybody's shit on Flow. I think that would be helpful. If you plan on becoming a black belt world champion or a serious competitor, studying film is a must. You have to know your enemy better than you know yourself. I would suggest that if he's serious, that he does it. I don't necessarily think it's necessary.
Speaking of, as a white belt, is it worth developing a game plan? From Damon Mundell.
No, because you're a white belt.
That's what I'm saying.
How are you going to develop
Yeah,
a game plan
game
for
plan.
something that you have? That you're a
Show
white
up the
belt in?
class. Yeah, that's your game plan. Show up the class.
Take notes,
Yeah.
train hard, listen to your coach, and do strength and conditioning. Then and only then would I even think about like at white belt. It's silly to do it because you're not going against the same guys every tournament. The higher in belt rank you go, the circuit that you go through in competition at the IBJJF level, you get to a high enough level of competition at any belt, you're going to be running into the same guys at blue, purple, brown, black. And even then, I wouldn't do a game plan until I've got the knowledge. At white belt, don't do it. Don't waste your time because you're only going to give yourself a headache. And then when you get your blue belt, your purple belt, your brown belt, you're going to look at that game plan and say, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yep. Here's a real nice beginner question. So me and this purple belt are rolling, and he starts on the ground. Every time I get close to him, he manages to get his feet wrapped around mine and keeps me from going anywhere. Sounds like De La Riva. No matter how hard I try, I can't get past his guard. What should I do? Gotta love those brand new questions.
This is great.
Yeah, man, you gotta push one foot down from off your hip, get that bad boy off there, start whatever he has wrapped up around you, start unwinding it the other way. Unwrap it.
The beautiful part about having a training partner that challenges you is every day you have an opportunity to test out their game and learn through trial and error on the mats. And it's going to suck. Of course, you're not going to pass their guard easy peasy right off the bat. But the more times you train with them and the more you pay attention about their reactions, the better you're going to get. And eventually you will be able to pass. The joy I have in training, since I'm at a high level, and of course I've went full speed against 90% of the guys I train with, of course I'll win the round. But what helps me get better is that I test out what I'm doing and I try to give my opponent different stimuli and look at their reactions. And then off of their reactions, I give them more stimuli. And playing the cat and mouse to chess game, over time you'll figure out their reactions and then you'll be able to exploit them. So what I would suggest is that you keep training with that training partner, keep mental or physical notes of what goes down, and then every day in practice as you go against this training partner, test it out. Figure it out. And it's going to help you because not only is it practice against that position or those attacks against that you're facing, it's going to help you down the road when you do get to a higher level to be able to break down your opponents on film. So you can reverse engineer stuff easier. When I was a blue belt, I wouldn't be able to figure out the intricate things that I go against every day in practice that I do now because it's the experience, and that in practice I wasn't always trying to win or focus on I need to pass their guard, I need to win this round, as opposed to I need to learn his shit. I need to figure out what he's doing and why he's doing it, and if I give him a counter or I give him a certain stimuli or an attack, why he's countering and how he's able to counter. That's a very
And you can also
answer.
ask him. You could just say, "Hey, man, what can I do to get through this here?"
That is true. He'll tell you. Because it's going to help him too. If your partner figures your shit out, don't be discouraged. Be happy because now I have to evolve and you have to evolve. And as a team, we get better.
Any tips for passing half guard? Working on it tonight, and I'm thoroughly drained. There's different half guards.
There's different.
Yeah, you got knee shield and regular and deep half. You got all kinds of half guard you got to worry about. They're all different.
All right.
Well, but if you're passing it, I usually hip switch and smash my way through.
The best way that I stop half guard or give people a bad half guard to get to is keeping my knee up. So my lead knee, my knee cut knee. Or don't allow your leg to get caught up. You can do like crazy legs, like you move your feet a lot when you're passing and do outside passing to prevent the half guard. But if you like to get tight, or you're eventually going to have to get tight to them, you got to keep that lead knee forward and try to drive through. You don't want to try to pass guard from your knees with the half guard, because if they get the leg that they want, that knee on the ground, that's when the bullshit starts to start. And you got to try to get your butt up in the air, tripod, and free your knee. If you can free your knee in the half guard, it makes shit way easier. Another thing, you don't want to get put in deep half. It's just a shitty position because it's kind of a stalemate. If you're the top guy and you go against a referee, or you have a referee that's pro guard, he gives the edge to people that are playing guard, because I guess a lot of refs don't pass or don't understand. You're going to be stuck there and you might get negative penalties. Or if you go against a big person, it allows them to slow the game down. And then it becomes a little bit more about strength and grip endurance as opposed to movement, or it's just against your best interest if you get put in deep half. Do not let the person get their head under you or their body or their torso. You got to block the free hand. So you don't want them to be able to hook your free leg or get their head under you. So your knee position is extremely important. What I tend to do when I'm passing the half guard is so if I'm passing with my left knee cutting, I need to turn my left knee all the way to the right, or as far as I can to the left, or straight through. Like I'm trying to drive my knee over their crotch and into their chest. But I have to apply pressure and be able to turn my knee. If your knee isn't free in a half guard, you're in some shit. So free the knee.
Nice. That's pretty much it for me on my end.
Yeah, guys. This was our UFC 246 preview. Also our Who's Number One preview.
Yeah, coming up this weekend. You got a little bit of time for the Who's Number One, but Saturday is coming up. Get your pay-per-views in. How many buys you think it's going to do?
How many buys?
I think it'll do 2 million.
I don't really know.
That's how Conor can make that 50 million.
He's saying so. It's based
60
on
a buy. 1 million is 60 million. 2 million buys is 120 million. I could afford to pay that kind of money.
Fuck. I think it's gonna go 2 mil.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? Too. I think it's gonna go. I give it 2.5 million buys.
Worldwide too. You know what I'm saying?
Worldwide. It says fucking ESPN Plus. I'm not paying for ESPN Plus. I pay too damn much for Flow.
You already do it once.
Too damn much for new. What do you mean you pay for once?
You pay $20 once, and then you pay the $60
every pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that's bullshit, man.
I know.
If I pay for ESPN Plus, I want free fucking pay-per-views. Everybody, if you want to get in touch with me and book me for a seminar, private lesson, or a super fight, you can hit me up at timspriggsbjj.com, or you can hit me up at Instagram at SpriggsBJJ. Actually, no, don't hit me up my Instagram because the DMs are shut down. The Instagram that you need to hit up if you're listening to this or you're interested in the BJJ Goons movement is BJJ Goons Podcast on Instagram, or you can go to our Facebook at BJJ Goons. Anything you'd like to plug, Tony?
Yeah, at WhiteBeltBJJ, WBBJJ.com, BJJDating.com, CageDate.com. Check out Sunday Nights. I just did a review for them in their no-gi gear. Sunday spelled like Sunday. Like a chocolate Sunday. SUNDAEKNIGHTS. They got some nice gear. High quality. Good stuff. Feels good. Looks good. VHTS New York for Tim.
Yes. Go to VHTSNY.com and use the promo code Mushmaster for 10% off of all their streetwear and jiu-jitsu wear and MMA gear. They got the best gear. I'm waiting on a new package from them. I need my package so I can show you guys how fly I look in the gear, so you can buy the gear, so you can look fly. Not as fly as me, because I'm the flyest guy of them all. But yeah. Also, I want the next challenger for my belt. So I want Kaynan Duarte so I can beat his ass because he's a cheater and show everybody that I'm number one. And then I want the fight to win no-gi title. So hit me up. Let Fight to Win know that you want to see me fight in Baltimore. I want to shut down Baltimore. I want to sell out. We're going to sell out UMBC. I'm bringing all my goons with me. I'm bringing all the TLI and Crazy 88 with me. And we want all the smoke. So if you think you can take on TLI in our home court, let's see what you got. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goon Life.
Peace.
Peace.